Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all another one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion videos. It's actually been a little while since the last discussion video, but I really wanted to follow up with the release of the Legendary Duelists 5, with the cover card being Bakura, and I honestly did not expect us to receive that kind of support. I wasn't sure what character we were actually going to receive support-wise for the next Legendary Duelists, with the previous theme being Sisters of the Rose, featuring all the female duelists from all of the first 5 series, and I think they've been continuing with that theme, which they'll probably continue with the Legendary Duelist 5 as well. So we'll have one character from each series, and the fact that they gave us Bakura really made me think that maybe we'll be going for the villains this time around in Legendary Duelist 5, which if that's the case, I came up with some thoughts on what support I think we might see for each one of the series. We already have Bakura covered for the original, so we'll be going over GX, 5Ds, Zexal, and Arc 5. So we'll go ahead and get started. Just wanted to look over, like I said, I did not see Bakura coming with the support, Destiny board support, Dark Necrofear, new versions of this card, as you can see here, with Curse Necrofear. And I think it's a very interesting take. As all you know, Bakura is one of my favorite characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been my icon on YouTube for a good while now, and the fact that we're getting support for him, very, very excited for that for sure. Can't wait to see what other support we'll be receiving, what cards they'll be, reprinting. I definitely think we need a Dark Sanctuary reprint. That card came out in Rivals of the Pharaoh. We haven't seen it, reprinted anytime soon. Just a more difficult card to get a hold of. To work with all the other support, his Dark Spirit actually becoming a monster card now, I think is very, very, very cool as well, working with Dark Necrofear overall with its effect. From what it looks like, Cursed Necrofear is going to be ultra rare so far, and just some other support moving on from those cards right on into GX. What I thought when we came to villains in the GX series, yes, we had the Sacred Beasts in Season 1, we had Sartorius, which popped up in my head, but we have a good amount of support for both of those cards already, and one card that's actually been overlooked in my opinion is Yubel. We have 3 cards in total, for Yubel being, original Yubel, Terror Incarnate, and the Ultimate Nightmare, but we haven't really seen too many other cards that focus on this support, mostly just to help get these cards out onto the field. You really had to rely on other cards, including maybe like Fire Kings, or just, other spells and traps that help destroy these cards, so you can get, their special summons off, and then just make it very, very difficult to have your opponent get around these cards. And I've seen it before where they've turned, small archetypes into a whole deck based on just a, amount of support that we received for the deck. And I honestly think Yubel can be one of these decks that receives support in, line with just maybe additional monsters that help you search out the cards. I've seen, obviously Mystic Tomato helping to get out, Yubel, and then just going off of that destruction when you can. But if we have more cards that actually, maybe like a spell card that can help destroy Yubel, help search out, a Searcher for sure, just being able to get normal Yubel into your hand with a Searcher would be insane. But I could see this being a definite card for sure. Like I said, I thought of the Arcana before, with Sartorius being potential, more spell and trap support that way. But I myself would really like to see just more added on to the Yubel lineup. In total, it was one of the biggest, villains in GX, changing, Jaden's whole character overall for the final seasons. The most impactful character and villain, I would say, for sure. And I think that might be a big focus that they play on. One of the more impactful villains in the series, ones that we didn't see coming. Bakura definitely being under the first couple series, but really finishing off strong in the anime. So just like that, Yubel later became an ally, but this is one deck I definitely do want to see support for in this pack. Only 3 cards, and hopefully we'll see later on as they slowly reveal all the other decks for sure. But moving on to 5Ds. Now, when it came to 5Ds, I know we had the Mech Lords, we had some of the Time Lords, but ones I remember the most in the series definitely had to be the Earthbound Immortals. Just the fact that they had sort of this theme with the Nazca lines going on. They had plenty of support, don't get me wrong, for sure. But the one thing I noticed that we were missing from just all the different, Earthbound Immortals that we've seen so far is just that they didn't really have too much setup themselves. If we maybe received some support for the Earthbound Immortals via monsters that you can summon out easily and then have easy tributes, if they got their own field spell that focused on them, I could definitely see that being a major focus on the villains for the Earthbound Immortals. I'm hoping we see support that focuses on each 7 Earthbound Immortals, not one that just focuses maybe on like Wiracocha Raska, because it was Goodwin's, main Earthbound Immortal, and then we end up focusing on the Sun and Moon synchros as well. That'd be a completely different take from what I thought, but if we get one that lets you mix and match all the different Earthbound Immortals and, powerfully in a deck with a field spell, just focusing on that, since the Earthbound Immortals have to have a field spell on the field, but then we also have those easy tokens that maybe the field spell generates for you to tribute, but then limiting your tribute for the Earthbound Immortals, and maybe other support that just helps us with the other Earthbound cards, which we've already received. Like, unlike Yubel, we've received a good amount of Earthbound Immortal support just in the form of, the spell cards and the traps, stuff that is pretty generic and works with it. But if we can just add more cards to the Earthbound Immortals that, give them power support, I can definitely see this as a definite boost for the deck overall. Now, it kind of takes off of the Arc 5 line, but we did receive fusions and synchros in Arc 5 for the Earthbound Immortals during the synchro arc. I don't think, I'm far too off from saying maybe we can get some of that support, but that wouldn't really fall in line with the whole 5Ds arc. I think if we focus just on the 7 original Earthbound Immortals and their support, that'd be the best way to go about it. Obviously, reprinting some of the more well-known ones. That's why I'm showing Kokopakapu and Asilapiscu as well for cards that they could potentially reprint, obviously as common, but I'd like to see that as well in these set. Now, when it came to Zexal, now the biggest thing, I couldn't really think who deserved, a spot in Zexal. My one friend thought Vector. I thought to myself, Chronomalies, Heraldic Beasts were always, a big part in the key villain, but aside from those, I was thinking, just going off of Nash Shark, for those of you from Zexal, and his basic water lineup, focusing around the number monster that he had when he was a villain, number 101, Silent Honor Arc. If we were to give support for just this lineup, I know it really did focus on the whole rank up magic, which they can always, benefit and go off of that for sure with this deck, focusing on the 100 numbers especially. I kind of lean more towards 101 just for the fact that it was a specific character, and that seems to be what they do with these Legendary Duelists decks. They focus on one character and just the support that they used. So if we are going off of Nash, who I would like to see myself, will we see maybe one of the more earlier villains? I know we've already had Galaxy Eyes support, and Kite really wasn't a villain for too long, which is why I didn't, include him for the option. But, up there, I can see this. I can see any of the other number-related villains from Season 1 as well. But I thought we just need more support for the 100 numbers. And, number 101, Silent Honor Dark, and Silent Honor Arc are the ones I definitely do remember the most out of all 7 of the villains who used the number monsters. If we get specific support for this and just ones that focus on, your opponent taking your opponent's monsters, that can definitely be a very, very cool and scary deck for sure. Now, for the last deck in the lineup, now they usually don't do Vrains with these Legendary Duelist packs, as I've seen from the last 2 themes. And for Arc 5, I thought Zark, with more Zark support being used, cards to get out the Supreme King Zark, focusing on his protection. But I also thought, we received some smaller characters. We got Serena with Lunalights in the previous pack. I thought if we focused on, Dennis and his Performage mage cards that definitely might be cool. We've seen some of the anime exclusive cards for the deck, including his additional Xyz cards and also his fusion support, which we have a good amount of Perform Mage support already, but we never really got these two cards here for, fusion summoning, which we've only really seen his Exceed summoning. But if we can get these, I think that would definitely be a big boost, just for the fact that Perform Mages have also just been sort of a deck that you splash in with other decks. Hasn't really ever been a chance where you could have a pure Perform Mage deck if we work with some of the spell cards that Dennis also used with his deck. I could see that being a big benefit for sure, just overall, to make a pure Perform Mage deck. I know we probably won't get any cards like a Searcher for the deck, because Perform Mages alone easily special summon and easily search. So cards that just really benefit the fusion summoning and the Exceed summoning. I believe they did have a rank up option, or if they didn't, it was just, the easy overlay of 2 level 5 Perform Mages that they did, which we would probably receive that, or we could even receive completely new Exceed monsters to work more with the level 4s, completely out in the open with this final spot there. But when it came to villains, I thought DDDs, but, Reiji wasn't really a villain, and if I'm going to stick with that theme and belief of what they'll do for this set, that's what I want to believe they'll do with all 5 of the series. And hopefully they do decide to stick with that theory of using the villains for this pack. I think there's no other way to go about it, since they did start with Bakura, introducing him for the booster pack. So hopefully I'm correct with my guess, and hopefully you all, enjoy my choices for what I believe will be in Legendary Duelist 5. I was definitely excited because this set just got revealed today, and I definitely want to hear what you all think could be in this set as well. If we're going to go off the villains theme, I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially for Zexal and Arc 5. Pretty, excited, and would love to see the GX and 5D's choices I made, but still up in the air for the final 2. So if you have any better ideas on what you'd like to see, comment down below. But until next time, that is it for the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.